Welcome everyone. Jai Jagannath Subhadra Maharani ki Jai. Namo Om Jnanatimmirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chaksurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupada Krishna Prasnaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namini. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Tat Sat. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai. Okay, so before we go to the actual recap, we're going to do a general recap. Okay, so we have skipped many weeks ever since we started doing the false ego, mind, soul, intelligence, all those topics, right? So I'm sure we need some recap. Okay. So let's start with the types of bodies. How many types of bodies we have? Very basic. How many types of bodies we have? 2. Okay. Thank you, Kritika Mataji. Can anyone tell me what are the 2 types of bodies that we have? 2 types. Anyone? Kala Mataji? We have 2 types of bodies. Do you know what are they? Wow, we have 2 types of bodies. So what is that? Material and physical? How do you call them? Saraswati Karpiya Mataji?
Forgotten, Mataji, sorry.
Okay, we have gross and subtle. Gross means those you can touch, you can feel. Okay, that is gross, physical. Subtle means you can't see. Okay, so that is the difference. We have 2 types. One we can see, one we cannot see. Okay. All of us have 2 types of bodies, gross and subtle. Okay, let's go into subtle body first. Tell me someone, what is subtle body made of? So there are 3 things. Clue, 3. Tachayini Mataji. Do you remember what is our subtle body consists of? Yamuna Mataji. Param Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I think the false ego and all those kind of things.
Yes, you got 1 correct. I need 2 more.
Mind and intellect.
Okay, mind correct.
Intelligence.
Okay, let's see. Mind, intelligence, false ego. Okay, correct. Okay, let's put it in a simple form. Okay, in other words. All right, so what is false ego? There is ego and there is false ego. What is false ego? Who knows what is false ego? We did this in week 19. What do you think false ego is? Generally, there is a misconception about ego. People generally think that ego means being arrogant, you know, that is ego. So that there is a meaning to actual ego and there is false ego.
False ego means the passion, goodness, ignorance, and all those kind of things.
Okay, so what does false ego make us believe? Maybe we can narrow down that way. We have to recap this, yeah. False ego makes us believe we are the, I did this, I did that, that happened because of this. If I'm not there, then that's not going to happen. What is this?
I.
Yes, Prabhu?
I.
Yes. What is that? What it makes us think?
Attachment.
Okay, attachment to what?
To things lah. Everything. My house,
Okay.
my car.
It's called a
I
doer.
did that. I did this.
Yes, the word is doer. False
Activities.
ego makes us believe we are the doer. Okay, what does this mean? What does this mean? It makes, yes, Prabhu.
The Lord will be not in your mind lah. You think you
Ah,
are the one doing it.
yes, correct. It pushes us to take credit for everything, making us forget that Krishna is the controller. Okay, sidetrack a bit. 2 weeks ago, I watched a movie with my mom. It's on Astro. I don't have Astro at home. I went to my mom's house and we saw this movie. I don't know if y'all watched this. It's called, I still don't get that title in my mouth. This is where he actually dies in an accident and then the Kala comes and take him. And then he will tell the Kala, he'll try to he tries to justify with the Kala that, hey, how can you take me so early? I have a lot of things. My daughter's not married yet. I'm waiting for promotion, which is due anytime. My son has just started work.
Yeah, I saw that movie.
If I'm not there, all this not going to happen. Who's going to do this? I'm doing everything. He's like, I.
That's
Finally,
correct.
what Mataji, the Kala will tell him? I
And
think
it
that,
gives him, I think, 1 month or what to settle all the problems. And he will take him through, that whatever he thinks that we thought him, the company won't exist. He thinks we thought him, the wife, were not able to follow, and his children and his son. Then later he learns a bigger lesson that they still survive, they can still make decisions without him.
yes,
Yeah.
things still go on without him and still things are more smooth without him, right?
Yes.
Like he go and disturb things like that. So that's why we always, so that line really struck me. Hey, this is so relevant to what we are studying now. We always think that without me, things not going to happen. Therefore, we decide when we want to leave our body. Okay, so it's a very good movie. I think you all can watch it. Okay, and whenever you watch these kind of things, right, try to relate with the lessons that we are learning. So you'll be able to relate that. Okay, so it's a good message, this movie. Okay. All right, so next. So therefore, it is important that we become free from false ego by remembering that only the Lord is the supreme controller. We are not able to control everything. We think that we control, but actually it's not, yeah. Okay, so you have done level 1 and level 2, and you know how the entire material nature works. Okay, so there are a few elements, 6 elements that decides how things are done. We are just small part of it. So there are other 6 things. Okay, so if you remember, yeah. Okay, so we're gonna jump to week 20. So in week 20, we learned about mind, intelligence, and soul. So in the subtle body, we covered false ego first. And then the balance is mind, intelligence. Okay, false ego, mind, intelligence. Okay, mind, intelligence, false ego. After that, there is soul, the core of our existence. So we covered these 3 in week 20. Okay, so this is where you have that this is more superior to this more superior to this. So like this, we have a few elements there. Okay, so let's see whether you all remember. What is the lowest element? Anybody can recall? What is the, yes, what is the lowest stage? If you could catch what I showed in the slide earlier.
Dull matter.
Yes, what is the dull matter? In us, what is the dull matter? Means is temporary, it's destructible. Without soul. Yeah, what is it? What is the dull matter in us? Without soul, it doesn't function. What is it?
All the senses. Huh?
Without our soul, this
Body.
Yes, correct. Body. Okay, so body is the dull matter. All right. Now it's body and senses are on different level. All right. So it is the lowest because without the soul, it doesn't function. So it's dull. All right. It's made of the five temporary materials. What are those? What is the body made of? Do you have that memory? Pancha?
Water,
Panchabhudam.
ether,
Ah, yes. Water.
Water,
air.
water,
Uh-huh.
Is the other two.
water, right?
Oh, yes, yes. Water, correct, Prabhu. Water, ether,
Ether, earth, right?
earth,
Space and air, right? Not
space is
air.
ether. Space is ether.
Okay, it's Peter. Then
What's
Fire.
fire?
air, lah.
Air, right? Yes, so
Yeah.
that's fine. Okay. Above body, what do we have in the hierarchy?
Mind.
Belum. So we have senses, yeah, we have senses.
Oh, senses, yeah.
Senses are higher than body because when we have lust in our body, okay, because we're talking about body here, right? So there's lust in our body. So it needs channel to go out, and that channel are the senses. We want to see something, we want to hear something, we want to speak something, we want to eat something, we want to smell something. So these are all desires, okay, lust. So there is a way to channel out, and that way is these senses.
Get the charger, Ingrid. Oh,
Above
good.
the senses, what do we have? What dictates the senses? Hey, go and seek this pleasure. Hey, go and get this information. So what is dictating the senses?
Mind.
Yes, mind. Okay, mind is higher than the senses. Why? Even when your body is sleeping, when your senses are shut, but the mind is working, and that is called dream. Okay, that is one example. Another one, when the body ages, right? When you can't walk, when you're too young, too old, you are so weak. Okay, this bone cannot move, that bone cannot move, but the mind keeps working. The mind still have, oh, I wish I could do this, I wish I could do that, but my body doesn't allow. So these are two things where the mind is superior to the senses, because mind is always active and mind always has desires, even though body does not permit. Now, above the mind, what do we have?
Intelligence.
Yes, intelligence. So how intelligence is superior to mind? Let's see. Yeah, because the mind is the determination of intelligence which can direct the mind, and with intelligence you will be able to discriminate. Okay, you minus of the intelligence, the mind can do anything and everything that it wants. All right, but if you have the intelligence tells, hey, no, you should not watch TV tomorrow, you have exam, you study now. Okay, it's like that. So the intelligence direct the mind. All right, above all this, who is the boss?
The soul.
The soul. Because what is so special about a soul here? Because it is part and parcel of the Supreme God. So if Supreme God, Krishna, is the Supreme Soul, then we are the minute soul. We are the spirit soul. Therefore, we have the spiritual potency. That's why we have to unleash this power of soul, so it will do the work that is intended to do. Otherwise, this mind, intelligence, false ego, impurities, contamination, all will cloud the soul. And it will push us to do things that will give reactions, bad reactions or good reactions, and ultimately keeping us in the cycle of birth and death in this material world. Okay, so this is the situation now. Okay, why we are here? Because we have not understood the nature of the soul to serve the master. The soul has come out from the master, and its job description is to serve the master. So until and unless it serves the master, the soul will continuously look for happiness in material world. It tries to serve other bodies, or if it doesn't have other bodies to serve, it's going to serve the own senses. Oh, my sense asked me to do this. My mind is asking me to do this. I'm going to serve. So you're going to continuously serve ourselves. And when you keep doing this, we're going to create bondage because we're going to engage in activities without any knowledge. Okay, so when we do this, then we're going to incur karma, vikarma. Okay. Material subtle body, material cross body. Yeah, we don't really call that as material subtle body. We just call that a subtle body. So
Mataji, is soul Jivatma, Atma and Jivatma, is it?
Same. Jiva Atma is soul. Jiva Atma, you can say spirit soul.
Spirit.
Jiva is also Atma. Jiva is also soul, like that. If it's God, we call Paramatma. Param Atma, supreme soul. So Jiva Atma is a spirit soul. Okay. Now, what else we're going to see as a recap? Okay, so there are various yoga because this mind is very strong. Okay, we need to practice certain things to control this mind. Okay, because remember that there was one topic specifically on mind where we give that genie example. You have to keep engaging the mind. And then we also always think this mind is like a monkey. All right, always hopping here and there. Okay, another example is the mind, if you do not train him to be your friend, it can be your enemy. Okay, it can lead into a lot of abominable activities. So to train this mind, you need to engage in various yogas. So people generally go to practice yogas to control the senses. So because when the senses are controlled, then gradually the mind will be controlled. You have to stop your actions first. Okay, this is the conception of yoga. So gradually, the mind will be controlled. This is the conception of various yogas like dhyana, all those, right? Versus the bhakti yoga. What is the difference is that we are not controlling our senses as in that we are not like stopping ourselves from eating, stopping ourselves from sleeping or doing work. We don't do that. We engage in all these activities in a regulated manner. Okay, especially work in Krishna consciousness or in devotional service, because that actions or activities will purify the senses. So gradually the senses will be also controlled. We are also eating, but we are eating vegetarian food or prasadam. We are also having fun, dancing and singing, but we don't dance in discotheque. We will dance in temple, like that. Okay. All right, so like that, we covered this slide in few previous classes. So these are other examples like eating, attraction to music, literary. Okay, like we want to read, so we have certain books to read. Okay, we don't want to put rubbish in our head. We don't want to have excessive consumption of media unnecessarily. All right. Okay, so you love to cook, you can cook for Krishna. You like to serve, then you can serve prasadam. So like that, you like to dance or sing or draw, all this can be dovetailed. And that also important is good associations. So what is the difference between this and this, controlling the senses and purifying the senses, is that if you constantly go on with your daily activities, doing these kind of activities, with this kind of functions, you will be able to keep the bad engagements at bay, very far. You keep it away. Because if you artificially control your senses, there is every tendency that if at the slightest distractions that we can go back to old habits. What is that saying that we have in English? Old habits never die, is it?
Die hard. Die hard.
Old habits die hard. Yeah. So I have seen people who are not in bhakti path. They do like once in a year prayers or penances or austerities. Then they will, this is real life example. Yeah, I'm telling you. They will come back and okay, now I have given up smoking. Okay, another person says, I have given up drinking. Another person says, I've given up meat eating. But gradually, I've seen they go back to that because it's just once in a year thing. All right, it's not part of your life. So if you don't make it as a part of your life, it's very difficult for you to abstain, that the prayers thing, the penances whatsoever, it has to be your constant. You have to constantly chant, you have to constantly associate, you have to constantly read, hear, associate with devotee. So like that, it is not occasional thing for you to pray. It's part of your life. So like this, if it's your daily routine, then these bad engagements will not come back. Okay, so that is the difference. Okay, this is why, people who go meditation in caves and forests, they get distracted, they come back. But when they come back, sometimes they do not go back to abominable activities, but they just go back to doing charities. Okay, when you do charities, you incur good karma. So again, you are being bonded. Okay. All right, so the conclusion is that this is a conclusion of our recap, yeah. All right. One may not give up work and prescribed duties all of a sudden. So very important. We cannot afford to give up our prescribed duties. We have to go on working. But by gradually developing Krishna consciousness, one can be situated in a transcendental position without being influenced by the material senses and the mind. We cannot artificially try to give up enjoying our senses, but train ourselves in Krishna consciousness by higher intelligence. Okay, so this is the conclusion, yeah. Okay, what else we have? Oh, we have week 21 to recap. Okay, so in week 21, we did a chariot. Do you remember the chariot?
Yep.
Chariot picture. Okay, let me ask you, who is the one? What are the horses represent?
Senses.
Yes, senses. How the senses are controlled? What is the instrument called?
Oh, the reins.
Yes, the reins. What do the reins represent?
It's not
Mind.
fair. Yeah. I have the notes in front of me, not
Okay, that's great, Mataji. So you help us, okay? So what are the reins? Those are mind, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, who is controlling the reins?
Intelligence.
Yes, good, Prabhu. Intelligence control the reins, and thus the senses are controlled. Go left, go right, go left, go right. But who is the boss of the intelligence?
soul.
Yes, ultimately all these things are serving the soul. Okay, very good. What symptoms can we understand that our mind is our enemy? Can you give example? At what situation the mind can be our enemy? You can bring in some examples that Arjuna said, something about wind.
Oh, yeah. The wind can be controlled, but he can't control the mind. His mind. His
Yeah.
restless mind.
Okay, so what will happen eventually? Let's say there is no intelligence to control the horses. What will happen to the chariot? What? So the intelligence is not present, they're absent. The mind can do anything and everything with the rein and the senses. So what will happen to the horses?
He can be right or he can be wrong.
It can be.
Direction or otherwise.
Okay, what else? What if the mind overcomes the intelligence?
Wrong decisions are made.
That's dangerous.
Dangerous, wrong decisions, wrong destination. Okay, so intelligence has to be superior to the mind, otherwise the mind will do as it wishes. What's that Tamil song, Prabhu? That you cannot follow the mind. This one old song, right?
Kan po na po kile. That one.
Yeah.
Kal po galama. Kal po na po kile. Manam po galama.
Like that. Okay. Right. Thank you, Prabhu. Right. So the soul should be the controller, not the horses. If the horses control the chariot will not go into proper direction. Okay. So similarly, if we do not let our intelligence control our mind, we will lose control of our senses. It will lead to trouble. and make us do unwanted things which we will regret later, right? So we'll never want to be driven by our mind and senses, but by intelligence. Okay, so therefore you can see the mind is very important. So the mind is controlled by through all these yoga systems. Okay, I already explained earlier. Okay, and we cannot artificially try to stop our senses because there is tendency for us to go back to our old habits. Okay, if it is not regulated on daily, in daily manner. Okay. Okay. So now this is where our topic for this week comes. Yeah, how to control this mind. Okay, how can the mind be the cause of bondage? Also, I already explained. Okay, if you let it control our senses, then we're going to engage in various activities that's going to create reactions, and reactions cause impressions in our subtle body, and it carries on to another body when we die. Okay, it's going to go on and on and on, bringing all our impressions from the daily, our life, our entire life, our whole life. Okay, it will go on to the next life. So if it goes on and on and on, when are we going to stop this? Birth, cycle, and death. You will have that 4 problems all the time: birth, death, old age, disease. Okay, so the aim of this week, right, is to make us understand what is the best system to control the mind. So this is the topic of week 21, yeah, nature of the mind and mind control. We did this pretty fast. I think the last time, I think we finished in half an hour, and then we went to Snana Yatra and Radha Yatra story. Okay, so correct, yeah, senses controlled by the mind, by the intelligence, and Atman is the boss. Okay. Okay, so this is a statement that Arjuna told Krishna. The mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate, and very strong, oh Krishna. And to subdue it, I think, is more difficult than controlling the wind. Okay, so we have energizer question. What is the best thing you have ever acquired? Maybe we can have 2 persons to share who have not spoken yet. Roja Mataji, you are here. So I'm going to ask this question to you. What is the best thing you have ever acquired?
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
The best thing that I've ever acquired, I think, is freedom.
Freedom. Where, when, and from what?
In our work, right, sometimes we depend on our teammates and all. But I think as we develop our skills, and we don't have to depend on other people. So we can just carry on doing what we think is right. And then from there, we know how to go about things.
Okay, very nice. You cherish your freedom. So yeah, right. Okay, thank you, Mataji. Can we have Saras Mataji? Saras Mataji, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Mataji, but I don't know what to say.
What is the best thing you acquired today? Let's see. Or maybe in the recent past. Okay, anybody else? Anyone can speak.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I think me and the best thing that I've ever acquired in my life or all these years and a few months and all that is to able to connect with people who talk about Krishna. And I have friends and people and who have encouraged me to pray to Krishna, and I think that's the best thing that can ever happen to you in your life, because at a certain age when you come, you want to go back to God. You don't want to, you want to have the right path, not like some people at a certain age, they're still thinking of material thing. They want to still look beautiful. They want to look, I hear some of my friends in their 60s talking about things which is not important, because this body is anytime going off. It's just a body, and when we die, the body is going to decay or be burned and all that. But the most important thing, when the time of your death or when you're thinking, do something good, and then think of God and think of the right thing. Especially now, I saw this movie on the Kerala story, what's happening to our religion, how everybody becoming from Hindu turning to Islam and all this ISIS and all that. I think the best thing for us now, and I feel all my life, is that I became more devoted to Krishna, I became more devoted to God. This kind of thing is what I think the best thing that ever happened to me. Meeting people like you, Punita, and so many people I've met in ISKCON, and all have gave me, showed me the way. Maybe this is my part of my life which I left halfway and I'm going back now.
Yeah, I can see you're advancing pretty rapid, Mataji. So it's definitely it's your, they call it Srishti, I think. Srishti, I think, pious results from last birth.
Yeah, today. And then today when I was praying, and my brother-in-law picked up the Shambhagampo, So I brought that, and I put for God. I felt everywhere I saw flowers and the fragrance and all that. And then I was praying, I thinking to myself, oh my God, another 20, 30 years, what's going to happen to my Krishna? Who's going to pray to him like what I'm doing now? I have this kind of worry, my baby, who's going to feed him? Who's going to pray? Well, my son will take over, or my daughter-in-law will come and take over. I'm more now worried what will happen to my Krishna when I'm not around. I was telling my husband, I think what will happen now? Who will take over? I told Krishna, you better send someone who will take over the job that I'm going to live in.
Don't worry, Mataji, we are not the controller, so Krishna will make arrangement.
So I think that is the best thing that I've ever acquired, to meeting people. I think I'm blessed, to meet the right person to guide me back.
Thank you, Mataji, for inspiring all of us. So in that line, I agree. I have also tried many. I don't know whether you all have tried other paths previously. I have tried few. I have tried ever since 18 years old. I've tried many things. Some paid, some free. So different kinds of yoga, different meditations and things like that. So finally, I landed here and I see that this is the best, that this gives that everlasting and beyond. The result is everlasting and beyond. So this is the best thing that I have acquired. Okay, so it's good sometimes we tried all this to actually cherish what finally we get. Okay, so at least we know comparative to other paths why this is best. Okay, but of course, without going through all that, if you land yourself in Bhakti, is also good. Okay, that means you are lucky. You are lucky, you don't have to go through all that. Okay, so this is the best thing. So generally, everybody wants to acquire the best of everything, the best of the position in the office, the best of the car, the best of results. Okay, so we want best for us. So what is the best thing for the mind? Like I mentioned earlier, various yogas. And out of all these various yogas, we want to see what is the best yoga one could have. Okay, so we want to see which one is the best. So the topic of today will be topmost yoga. Okay, so for this, we will be recalling a lot of information from chapter 6. Okay, chapter 6 is what topic? Yeah, anybody can remember, can recall? What's the title of chapter 6 of Bhakti?
Dhyana Yoga.
Dhyana Yoga. So, eventually you all need to know what chapter, what title. Okay. Can I do a quick quiz? What is the chapter 1's title?
If I have it in front of me, does it count?
Okay, you
Open
will
book,
be the savior at the end when nobody can answer.
Okay. Open book test.
Open book test. What is the title of chapter 1? Anybody can recall? If wrong, tapu. Please, I know you're trying. Okay, let's.
Observing the armies, I think, the first chapter.
Yes, observing the army, all the physical and geographical settings all will come there. What is the second chapter about? If you do not remember the title word by word, I want you to recall the concept. What is the knowledge that we got in chapter 2? What is the first knowledge that Krishna gave us in Bhagavad Gita? After all the physical setting, the conch shell sound, everything. What he spoke about? Param Prabhu.
What do you talk about?
Hmm.
He was advising what this guy?
Arjuna.
Arjuna,
Yeah. What
right?
is it?
Arjuna was panic. He said, "Oh, my relatives are all over there. I'm going to kill them, right?" In the war. So he told Krishna that I can't do this, right? And I'm confused. Then Krishna advised him.
Is Mataji helping you?
No.
Okay. So what knowledge Krishna gave when Arjuna was lamenting? What knowledge is that?
It's actually the summarize of Gita.
Huh?
That is the knowledge. Gita was spoken.
Contents of Gita summarized. Just tell me what is the important topic there, Prabhu?
He is not in control.
He
was telling what he's supposed to do, right?
Yeah, he was talking about the difference of body and soul. That is the first.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That people will not die. It will be transformed from one body to another body.
Very good. Yes. So contents of Gita summarized chapter 2. It also has a little bit of karma yoga. Okay. Chapter 3 will go into karma yoga. Okay. Krishna will expand more on karma yoga. Chapter 4. Chapter 4 is where the knowledge of the history of Bhagavad Gita comes in. Krishna will talk about the importance of
Chapter 4 is transcendental knowledge, right?
Transcendental knowledge, the importance of receiving the knowledge through guru and disciple chain. Okay, so it is important to hear from the right chain, discipline succession, parampara. Also in chapter 4, Krishna talked about why is it important to hear about his pastimes, his appearance and disappearance, because the more you hear, it will stop your cycle of birth and death. Chapter 5 will talk about, again, go back to karma yoga, but it in a different light. Okay, work in Krishna consciousness. Chapter 6 is what we're going to touch today. Okay, sometimes it's called Ashtanga Yoga, sometimes it's called Dhyana Yoga. Dhyana Yoga is part of the Ashtanga Yoga. Ashtanga Yoga means 8 anga, right? 8 limbs, 8 steps of yoga. So Dhyana is one of it. What is in chapter 7?
Absolute knowledge of the absolute.
Absolute.
Okay, chapter 4 was transcendental knowledge. Chapter 7 was knowledge of the absolute. Very good. Chapter 8. This is very interesting chapter where Krishna teaches us how to die. So what is the title of that chapter 8?
Attaining the Supreme.
Attaining the Supreme. Okay. And then this one, we already entered the Bhakti Yoga section in the middle of the Bhagavad Gita. Chapter 9.
Most confidential knowledge.
Okay, so you can see chapter 4, transcendental knowledge. Chapter 7, knowledge of the absolute. Chapter 9 is most confidential knowledge. This is right at the center of the Bhagavad Gita, most confidential. After that, Krishna is going to describe about all his opulences, right? So what is chapter 10?
The opulences of the absolute.
Yes, so you can see chapter 7, knowledge of the absolute, and chapter 10 is, what is that title?
Opulence of the absolute.
Opulence of the absolute. Okay. All right. Chapter 11 is the dramatic segment. What happens in chapter 11?
Krishna
universal
reveals himself
form.
to Arjuna.
The universal form.
Krishna shows universal because all the while Krishna has been telling theoretically, I am this, I am this, I am that, I am the chief of this category, I'm chief of this category. Then Arjuna said, oh Krishna, I want to see all of this and how you enter into material creations doing all this. So Krishna showed his full form, the universal form.
Yeah.
Okay, goes to, and then it takes us to chapter 12.
Devotional service.
Devotional service.
Emotional service. Okay, so this is where the Bhakti Yoga section ends from 7 to 12, right? Yes, 7 to 12. After that, we are entering what section? Third section.
Chapter 13.
13 to 18, what section is that? What yoga we study?
Nature, the enjoyer, and consciousness.
Yeah, so the last 6 chapters is about what? First was Karma Yoga, Sankhya Yoga, okay? In the middle, Bhakti Yoga. What is the last segment about? Remember the sandwich?
Dani Yoga.
Jnana Yoga. So this is where we have all the technical terms. We studied about bodies, Sariraka Upanishad, knowledge from Sariraka Upanishad, and then all the 24 senses. The 24 elements of the body. What else? 3 modes of material nature. Okay, and then all the categories under goodness, passion, ignorance. So Krishna gave so many categories and all of them in 3 modes. So that has anyone gone back and read that again? We have happiness in 3 modes, charity in 3 modes, austerity in 3 modes. Okay, so we have all this information in 3, even knowledge are in the 3 modes. So we cannot be happy that we have knowledge. We cannot be happy that we are happy. Okay, we cannot be happy that we are doing charity, because all of this you can reflect and see whether you're doing it in the mode of goodness, passion, or ignorance, because it makes a difference. Okay, so we have covered all the titles, okay, until 12. 13 is, okay, tell Mataji, chapter 13, what's the title? Nature,
the enjoyer, and consciousness.
Okay, so this is where Arjuna will ask 6 questions and Krishna will answer. Okay, remember the knower of the field, knower of all the fields. So this is where it comes. 14, 3 modes of
material nature.
Yeah, this is where we are being introduced to goodness, passion, and ignorance. Okay. Next, 15. This is a little bit different because it's not so technical, and this is the smallest chapter. It's called
the yoga of the Supreme Person.
This is where we have the upside down tree. Okay. All right. So the top one is divine and the lower one is demoniac. So Krishna will differentiate what divine people will do, what demoniac qualities will do. And then he talks about his greatness also. So it's called Purushottama Yoga. Next, 16.
The divine and demonic natures.
Okay, so it continues there, divine, demonic natures. 17.
The divisions of faith.
Okay, because Arjuna will ask, if I'm not divine, if I'm not demoniac, what am I? Okay, what am I practicing? So Krishna will say, if you are not divine, if you are not demoniac, okay, but you are not following the scriptures, then your activities will fall under these 3 modes. This is where Krishna will give all the information in 17, and it continues to 18. So what is the chapter 18 title?
The perfections of renunciation.
Right. In chapter 18, Krishna will continue to talk about different categories, different activities under the 3 modes, and he'll also summarize the entire Bhagavad Gita. If you read carefully the chapter 18, he will actually summarize the entire Bhagavad Gita in chapter 18, and he will score the goal where the ultimatum of learning Bhagavad Gita is to surrender to Krishna, and Krishna promises that he will deliver us from all our reactions. Okay, so this is the journey of Bhagavad Gita, you have gone through level 1, you have gone through level 2. Okay. All right. So you'll be able, if you keep doing this, right, you will remember which title, which chapter, which title, and where you should go looking for the information. Okay. So right now we are going to touch on chapter 6 to see where the topmost yoga is and on the ladder of Ashtanga Yoga. Okay, so we have done this in chapter 6. Okay, so chapter 6 focuses on dhyana. All right. So if you look at this here, right, this is a system that's given by Patanjali. Okay, Krishna spoke about only dhyana yoga here in Bhagavad Gita. But if you look at the actual Patanjali yoga, Patanjali is a name of a person who established these 8 ladders. He actually given us this yoga can be experienced in 8 stages. So first you have to observe some don'ts. You cannot do this, you cannot do this, all right, do that. So this is yama. And then there is, after you've observed the don'ts, you have to observe some do's. You have to do this, you have to keep yourself clean, you know, this kind of things. Niyama, do's, rules, positive prescriptions. Okay, so yamas means abstinences, avoiding from doing certain things. Niyama means observances, do these things, certain things you have to do. And then for dhyana, right, in order to attain these stages, you have to sit very long, right? For that, the yogi will do asanas, practices. So this is where the hatha yoga, all those yoga will come in. They will do all kind of physical exercises to keep their body erected, because you know you have to sit for a very long time to meditate, to realize the super soul. Okay, so you cannot sit and wake up in 5 minutes. That's not the actual dhyana. That's not the actual yoga. After that, you control the breathing. That is called pranayama. So sometimes you breathe little, sometimes you don't breathe. So all this come here. Okay, and then gradually you withdraw the senses. If the mind has been thinking about family, you withdraw that. If the mind is feeling hungry, thinking that we should eat, that withdraw that. So this is the stage that yogi will go through, withdrawing the senses from the external world. After he withdraw the senses, now the mind is focused. The mind will be able to focus. So the mind will focus on the super soul, the Paramatma. Okay, this is where he will attain, he will go through this, start meditating. Okay, meditate on Vishnu as Paramatma inside the heart. Finally, he will attain Samadhi. Okay, so this is the 8 steps in yoga. Okay, when in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna talks about dhyana yoga. What did Krishna explain here? Can you see this person here? This is about something like here, right? Withdrawal and everything here. Krishna talks about it in 27 to 28. He says this. Can somebody read for us, please?
I'll do, Mataji. Shutting out all external sense objects, keeping the eyes and vision concentrated between the 2 eyebrows, suspending the inward and outward breaths within the nostril, and thus controlling the mind, senses, and intelligence. The transcendentalist, aiming at liberation, becomes free from desire, fear, and anger. One who is always in this state is certainly liberated.
Yeah, so this, thank you, Prabhu. So this is Krishna's explanation. The how to do the meditation. How, all right? Okay, so this is where the chapter 5 ends. And chapter 6, Krishna takes us to more detailed guides on dhyana yoga. Okay, so with that, Krishna continues talking about how to prepare to do the dhyana. Do you all remember what Krishna said? How to prepare yourself to do the dhyana? There are, I think, easily got so many things here. Do you remember? We can brainstorm, whatever that you can recall. What do you need to do or prepare if you want to go do meditation? I give a clue. Krishna starts with location. What kind of place Krishna recommends?
Quiet place.
Yes, quiet place. What is that word in Bhagavad Gita? Secluded. All right, secluded, not in our room, not in a meditation center. Okay, secluded place like forest la, cave la, mountain. These are the secluded place. How do you prepare your seat?
The dead animal skin, right?
Yes, deer skin.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. What kind of grass?
This one must have died naturally. You cannot kill it.
Of course, definitely. What kind of grass you must sit on? You have to put the deer skin on that particular grass. What is the grass that we use for prayers? What do you call that?
Arugampul.
The one for Vinayagar, right?
Yeah, the one is Arugam is different.
Aruvampul.
This one, I don't know what's in Tamil, but it's called kusa grass. Okay. The one that you tie around your ring finger when you do wedding and all that. So that is kusa grass. Okay. So on top of the deer skin, you have to put a soft cloth. Okay. For soft cloth is not a problem. We can find it.
Garbai, right?
Yes. That's
grass. It's a grass.
yeah, it's a grass.
Like
Okay.
lalang.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. It's a little long, right? Okay. So what is the position of your seat? The height? Did Krishna say?
Lotus feet. Lotus position, right?
Okay.
No,
lotus
shouldn't
position.
be I or no.
Very good. Shouldn't
Your
be too
backbone must be.
Okay. And the location, right? It doesn't end at being a secluded place. That place also has to be sacred. So you need to find a holy place to do the meditation. Okay. So we have saw the location. We saw the kind of the seat, the position, the height. Okay. And then Krishna talks about how you should do the meditation. You should control the mind. Okay. Let me show you this. Sit on it very firmly. Okay, your neck and the body has to be erected. I think it is mentioned here. I think Krishna has mentioned somewhere that you have to sit erected. So you have to sit straight. Okay, you can check and see how many times you have moved in the last an hour or so, all right? The yogi should then sit on it very firmly and practice yoga to purify the heart by controlling his mind, senses, and activities. So these are all part of, as mentioned inside the Patanjali Yoga ladder. And fixing the mind on one point. Okay, so this is the yoga as described by Krishna. So if you do not know all these things, what is the yoga that you know? If you don't know all of these, right? What is the yoga that you have known all these years?
Mataji actually is stated in text 13 and 14. One should hold neck and age
Raja Yoga.
straight line.
Yes. Can you read that text, Mataji?
One is in text 13 and 14. One should hold one's body, neck, and head erect in straight line and stare steadily at the tip of the nose. Thus,
Yes.
with an unagitated, subdued mind, devoid of fear, complete free from sex life, one should meditate upon me within the heart and make me the ultimate goal of life.
Okay, very good. Yeah, so the erected straight body is mentioned there. Okay, very good. So if we do not know any of this, right? Dhyana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, Patanjali Yoga, all this we don't know, right? So what we know? Like 20 years ago, I don't know all this Patanjali Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, Dhyana Yoga. Dhyana I know because all the yoga centers, they focus on Dhyana. And the other yoga that I know is the physical yoga. But in this modern age, right? What kind of yogas are happening? What is the worst yoga that you have ever heard?
They are more concentrating on exercise.
Okay, yeah, exercise is okay, it's good because it
exercise
has
and now it's like a money making thing. Yeah.
money
I
making.
have tried the hot yoga.
Yes, Prabhu, you say something. What is that?
Yeah, the hot yoga. The room is temperature is heated up.
Yeah, so sauna yoga, hot yoga.
It's
Okay.
in doing yoga in sauna, right?
Yeah, okay. Okay, that also I can accept. But there are some yoga that I cannot accept, that you all also cannot accept. Have you all seen all those funny yogas? What is the funniest yoga names that you have ever heard? Have you seen this one?
Oh, yeah, I saw somebody
This
said
one,
it.
yes.
Drinking.
Drinking,
Yeah.
being liquor.
Liquor, yes. And there are so many other funny yogas that they do. Laughing yoga lah.
This drinking liquor. No.
Nude yoga, sex yoga, what else? Got few more. Very funny. Okay, so why are they doing, and the best part is that these yogas are being done people.
What yogi, the yogi one.
Yes, that's what I wanted to say. He's from India, and an Indian can.
He wasn't in India when doing it. He was in Europe, I think.
Yeah, he was an Indian.
France or somewhere lah.
Yeah, he went
The country.
to Europe.
Yeah, he was thrown out. What?
Thrown out already. Yeah. Okay.
He came back to. I think he came back to India.
Yeah, so the yoga that we know now is exploited in the Western world. Even I also practice yoga, so there's it said that it's better to practice yoga under an Indian teacher.
But you must say Western world by Eastern people.
Yeah, but if it's really authentic, it's still okay, right? It's not to lose weight or things like that. It's actually mind, body, soul, is focus and things like that. Okay, what we can do is we can utilize these yoga asanas to sit long to do our japa. Okay, otherwise we will feel so restless, the legs start aching, the knees start aching. When you sit, you cannot get up. When you when you stand, you cannot sit down. Right? So we can actually put this in good use. Okay, also it can help us to focus on our japa meditation. Okay, cultural misappropriation, abuse, these are all abuse. Okay, yoga in modern world are being abused. Okay, unauthorized yogis even dare to say publicly that one can indulge in drinking at the same time practice meditation. So I don't know how actually this can happen. There are yoga practitioners, but they can, they eat lavishly, they drink, they engage in other abominable activities, but they teach yoga. So I don't know how that works. Okay, so the real yoga that Krishna is teaching us is, what is yoga? Yoga means uniting our consciousness with Krishna. Okay, and we dovetail in that. We dovetail our consciousness to Krishna, and that process is called surrender. Right? The super consciousness can be only achieved by dovetailing individual consciousness, our consciousness, with the super consciousness, Krishna. Okay, and this dovetailing, linking, channeling, this process is called surrender or Krishna consciousness, God consciousness. Okay, SSR means Science of Self-Realization. This is an extract I took from a book. It's a question and answer with Prabhupada. A lot of people will ask questions to Prabhupada, like the popes or fathers, priests, reporters. So all these question and answers are recorded in this book. Okay, Prabhupada will be thrown many difficult and challenging questions. Prabhupada will answer all these questions here. So one such statement is here. Okay, what is the real yoga? Linking our consciousness to Krishna. Okay. So we all know the challenge. What do you think? Can you do the yogi process taught by Lord Krishna or Patanjali? What are the challenges? So do you remember this picture? What was Arjuna's complaint? What are the words that Arjuna used?
His head were reeling.
Okay, that's in chapter 2, right?
Confused.
Okay.
Stress lah.
Prabhu, that's chapter 2. Chapter 2. This one in chapter 6 where Krishna talked about how to do meditation. You know, he said all the secluded place, you have to control your mind, sit erected, focus and all this. Then Arjuna said, oh, Krishna, I can't do this. Why he said can't do this?
Controlling the mind.
Yeah, he cannot. Why? What's wrong with this mind? Actually, it's not what's wrong
He
with the
couldn't
mind.
control.
Yeah.
Mine is restless.
What? Yes. What, Mataji?
His mind is restless
Restless. What else? What is
and
the challenge?
unsteady. And unsteady.
Unsteady. Some more. How does Arjuna find this process?
Impractical.
Practical and indivisible.
Well, yeah.
Because
And the same case for all of us. Okay. All right. See, the system of yoga which you have summarized appears impractical and unendurable to me, for the mind is restless and unsteady. So it brings us to the problem and challenges with the mind. So what did he say? So all these words, restless, turbulent, obstinate, very strong, that it's so difficult to control than, it's more difficult to be controlled than the wind. Okay. And then given all these, right, Krishna say the best yogi is one fixed consciousness on me, and all those information Krishna gave. But finally, towards the end, Krishna gave a very comforting statement. He says, he described who is the best yogi. According to Krishna, in 47, the best yogi is described there. Who is the best yogi? Kala Mataji? Can readers agree? Yeah.
Is it text 47, Mataji?
Yeah, it's on the screen. You can just read.
Okay. And of all yogis, the one with the great faith, who always abides in me, thinks of me within himself and renders transcendental loving service to me. He is the most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. That is my opinion.
Yeah, thank you, Mother. So Krishna say, okay, no need to do this pranayama, yama, niyama, dhyana. You don't have to go to jungle, cave, forest, mountain. No need. Okay, you always have to have faith in me. Think of me. Okay, serve Krishna with our senses. Okay, with mind, body, senses. That person to Krishna is the topmost yogi already. Okay, very easy. This process is very simple. Okay, we just have to put our mind, body, soul into it. Okay, so there are various ways that we can serve Krishna. What do we call that? There's particular number that we always talk about. How many?
bhajan, right?
Okay, it's called Kirtanam, right? So it's one of that. Total got 9. Actually got so many, but Prahlad Maharaj described the important 9. Okay, I think we did this pretty recently also with the examples. Do you all remember the first 3, the top 3?
Instead, the Sravanam Kirtanam.
Yes. Do you remember, Mataji, by heart?
Sravanam Kirtanam. Dashyam, is it?
Smaranam. Can you tell in English whatever that you know?
Be a friend.
Shravana means hearing.
Hearing.
Now is hearing.
Association. Hearing, listening.
Speak or sing. That is called Kirtanam.
Kirtanam.
Yes.
Be a friend. Be a servant.
Dasyam, Sakyam. Yes, very good. Yeah.
Remember the other 2 or 3.
Okay, anyone else? When you hear, when you speak, what happens to your mind?
You're always thinking of Krishna.
Yes, remembering the Lord, Smaranam. Okay.
Yeah, thinking, yeah.
Okay, so the 4th one, I give a clue. What does Mother Lakshmi do for Lord Vishnu?
Service.
Okay, serve. What does she serve? What does she do?
Nevityam.
No, what does Mother Lakshmi do?
Oh, sorry.
Massage the leg, right?
Yes, so that is called Pada Sevanam. Okay, so can we massage Lord Vishnu's feet? Unless you have deities, I'm talking about in real. Can we serve?
Not qualified.
Not possible, not qualified. So how do we do this Pada Sevanam? We use our legs to what?
Oh, to go to the temple.
Yeah,
Go
go to
Go to the
temple,
temple and
to
pray.
go to holy places, to walk on the holy places. So this is how we do Pada Sevanam. Okay, very good. So we have done 4 already. Yeah? Now go to the 5th one. It's called Archanam. Archana means worshipping the Lord. Dashayani Mataji as deity at home. She's doing the worshipping. You can do offer arati or incense, offer flowers. This is all Archana. Next is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 is Vandanam. Vandanam means offering prayers. Okay, when you go to a temple, you stand in front of the Lord. What we do? Krishna, give me good children. Krishna, let me pass. Krishna, give me promotion. Krishna, give me this. Krishna, give me that. No, this is not how we do prayers. When we go and see the Lord, we glorify his beauty. Oh, you're so beautiful. Look at the crown. Look at the sari. Look at your dress. Look at your ornament. You glorify them. All right. And how do you glorify if you don't have your own words? Then you take a song from any acharyas or any song books and you sing that. Okay. And because people are generally not well versed in singing on their own because they don't know the songs, we pay the priest and the priest will sing the praises and we hear. So this is how the process is. Okay. But how much do you understand what the priest is singing or saying or offering to the Lord? Do you understand if it is Sanskrit? No. If you go to Perumal temples, how they do their archanam, how they do the vandanam, they sing the Divya Prabandham, they sing Tirupavai, okay, they sing a lot of, I don't get that words, but this is the 4,000 verses, okay? But sorry, Prabhu? They sing.
Vishnu Sahasranamam.
Yeah, these are, okay, Vishnu Sahasranama is fine because these are the Lord Vishnu's names, okay? It's pretty straightforward names. But there are prayers that they sing. It is not Sanskrit, it is Tamil. But the Tamil is ancient Tamil. So again, how much can we understand? Okay, you need to Google. I need to Google to find the simplified Tamil. Even if I don't understand that, then I have to translate to English to understand the meaning of it. Okay, so it is good that we have some songs memorized and understood the meaning. So when you sing to the Lord glorifying him, you know the meaning, and this will make your prayer more meaningful. You don't have to pay you don't have to take the Archana seat. So to support the temple maintenance, you can just put some money in the undil. Okay, so I would prefer to do it that way. Okay, I would prefer to glorify the Lord with my own voice, and I understand what I'm saying. All right, instead of paying somebody to do the archana for me. Okay, so it is great, of course, if you go to a temple where the pujari does the prayers and you hear, that is also hearing. That is also hearing. He's doing kirtanam and you are hearing. But how much is this being effective, right? And even if he is doing, then you can also sing your own songs. You have your prayers from Bhagavatam. You can pick some prayers from Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so you can do that. And we have Vaishnava song book. So you can pick some songs from there and sing. Okay, so this is how we should do prayers. Okay. Okay, then Mataji mentioned Dasyam Sakyam, serving Krishna as a servant, serving Krishna as a friend. Okay, consider him as a friend. And finally is Atma Nivedanam, complete surrender. Okay, the chart is here. It is taken from this Bhagavatam. Okay, right? So even if you are still, if you're going to Devas temples, right, you have this Tirumurai songs, right? That is also ancient Tamil. So you can sing, but you have to ensure that you know the meaning. Okay, I've been to Devaram classes since 5 years old. I can sing by heart a lot of songs, but if you ask me the meanings, I have to Google. Right? It's not very easy. So we need to simplify these things for us to do it. So there are not much this kind of knowledge being shared. There's Tirumurai Poti. Yes, there are contests, but how much the students know what are they singing? Okay, so that is important. So we need to do this for our children. We need to teach this. We have to learn, and you also have to teach the children. Okay, so this is a summary of the ladder. It starts from Karma Yoga, the do's and don'ts. Okay, and then you go to understanding the knowledge, getting the knowledge, and then you go to Dhyana. You meditate, and finally Bhakti Yoga is here. So the process of linking oneself with the Supreme is called Yoga. Okay, so I'm going to skip this. Okay, so this is the goal. The goal is the culmination of all kinds of yoga practices lies in Bhakti Yoga, because the total absorption comes at the top, which you are already doing it if you are cooking for Krishna, if you are singing for Krishna, if you are chanting. So everywhere your samadhi is there. Okay, you don't have to go very far from the house. You can do it in your house while still eating, while still going to work, while still taking care of your family and your children. Okay, you are still able to have that absorption of Krishna. All other yogas are means to come to the point of bhakti in Bhakti Yoga. Yoga actually means Bhakti Yoga. Other yogas are progressions. Okay, other yoga that you see down there, the Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, all these are path to Bhakti Yoga. Okay, so you become absorbed in the thoughts of Krishna in Bhakti. Okay, not to ask any material benefits. From the beginning of Karma Yoga to the end of Bhakti Yoga is a long way of self-realization. Okay, can we have somebody to read? Can someone read for us this slide?
May I read, Mataji?
Roja Mataji.
One is fortunate enough to come to the point of Bhakti Yoga. It is to be understood that he has surpassed all other yogas. Therefore, to become Krishna conscious is the highest stage of yoga. Just as when we speak of Himalayan, we refer to the world's highest mountains, of which the highest peak, Mount Everest, is considered to be the culmination.
Okay, hold on, Mataji. One more slide.
The ideal yogi concentrates his attention on Krishna, who is called Shama Sundara, who is as beautifully colored as a cloud, whose lotus-like face is as effulgent as the sun, whose dress is brilliant with jewels, and whose body is flower garlanded. Illuminating all sides is his gorgeous lustre, which is called the Brahma Jyoti.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. So the light that is coming out from Krishna's body is the Jyoti. If there is a Jyoti, there must be a source. If there is a ray of light, then there should be a source. Okay. So this is how we can meditate on the Supreme Lord. We meditate on his form, his colors, okay, his beauty, all right, his light. So this is the ideal yogi's concentration. So if you keep doing this, all our activities and of the senses will be purified instead of controlled by artificial means. I'm not going to watch this. I'm not going to eat this. I'm not going to be there. I'm not going to talk to this person. No, you can do all of this in a regulated manner and your senses will be purified. So that is the sublime Bhakti Yoga system. So this is the chart I actually showed earlier. Okay. So you may have some challenges. Okay, so we don't have time to discuss, but if you do have some challenges to take your practice to another step, so please message me. Okay, let's talk about it. Let's see what we can do. Okay. So what is this Bhakti Yoga? So this is a very important segment. Yeah, I have just added in. So what is this Bhakti Yoga? Generally, Bhakti Yoga is basically the art of giving. Okay, it's not taking, it's giving. We are learning how to, we all have the nature of giving. We love to give people, we love to help, we love to do charity. So this is giving. So how? You see how this fruit lady is giving. Right? Krishna just came and asked for some fruits, and he gave some little grains of rice in his hand, but she is so charmed with him, and he gave whatever fruit that the little hands can hold. She gave everything. So she loves to give to Krishna. So that is bhakti. Okay, so now before you start doing your japa or your cooking, or you want to do any service for Krishna, there are certain questions that we can ask ourselves. What am I giving? Where am I giving? To whom am I giving? And then why am I giving? Basically, it boils down to what is your motive? What do you want in exchange? So we can use these questions before you what you call that, setting the mood of your bhakti practice. Okay, whatever that you're doing, you're going to do arati, you can ask this question. You want to sit down, do japa meditation, you can ask this question. Okay, so moment by moment, we ask this question. Okay, so first, what am I giving? I am giving my time, right? You're giving your time. So instead of reading newspaper with a cup of tea, you are giving your time to do the japa. Okay, you're giving your attention. Okay, you're giving your prayers for perfection and love, that you also trying to love. You want to try to love Krishna. So this is what you are giving. Okay, where am I giving? Where are you giving? You are giving now at the present. In your mind, in your mind, you are giving yourself to Krishna. In your heart, so Krishna feels your heart. So you're giving there as well. And then you are speaking out loud through your voice. So you're also giving there. Okay, so these are all the places that you're giving yourself to Krishna. So this is all awareness. All right. Next, to whom am I giving? Okay, of course, you're giving to Radha and Krishna, because the Maha Mantra has Hara and Krishna. Hara means Radharani. Okay, and Krishna is Krishna. Okay, so you are giving your attention, your time, your energy, everything you're giving to Radha and Krishna through the holy name. Or to the deities. If you have deities, you are giving to them. Okay, you have your guru pictures there, and you're giving to the guru as well. Okay, so this is where you are giving. To whom am I giving? Okay, and then why am I giving? Okay, why you are giving? Number one, you want to please the Lord. You want to please Radha and Krishna, because you want to be purified of your material consciousness. So much of contamination of our consciousness. So you want to purify that. And you want to revive your eternal nature of the soul. The soul is not the doer. All right. The eternal nature of the soul is to serve the master. So you want to revive that. First, you want to purify your senses, and then you want to revive your eternal nature. And if you have taken a guru, then this is a duty to your guru. Okay. So you're doing this as a worship, as a prayer for perfection. Okay. So this is all about your nature as a giver. Okay. Right? Not I'm giving because I want to have better position at work, not because I want to have I want my children to pass my exams, or I want to have a bigger house, more money. So this is not the reason you are giving. You are giving because you have love for Krishna. Okay, you want to love them, to please them. So this is our topic of Bhakti Yoga. Okay, we have 5 minutes to complete the remaining segment. So I hope you have benefited from this. Okay, why this Bhakti Yoga is the topmost of all, and why is it easier than other forms of yoga? Okay. All right. By chanting the Maha Mantra, one achieves the results of karma, jnana, Astanga Yoga automatically. Of course, you surpass everything. So everything is included there. Okay, this is a lot of reading. I'm going to leave it at the PDF. You can read. Let's go to video, yeah. Okay, hang on, yeah, just for a while. Let me remove the picture.
A yogi is greater than the ascetic, greater than the empiricist, and greater than the furtive worker. Therefore, O Arjuna, in all circumstances, be a yogi.
Yogi, that is the highest perfectional material conditional life. There are different grades of life within this material world. But if one establishes himself in the yoga principle, especially in this bhakti yoga principle, that means he is living in the most perfectional stage of life. Yes. So Krishna is recommending Arjuna, my dear friend Arjuna, in all circumstances, you be a yogi. Remain a yogi. Yes.
And of all yogis, he who always abides in me with great faith, worshipping me in transcendental loving service, is most intimately united with me in yoga, and is the highest of all.
Now, here it is clearly stated that of all yogis, there are different kinds of yogis, Ashtanga yogi, Hatha yogi, Jnana yogi, Karma yogi, Bhakta yogi. So, Bhakta yogi is the highest platform of yoga principle. So, Krishna says here, and of all yogis, there are different kinds of yogis. Of all yogis, he who always abides in me, in Krishna. Me means Krishna says in me. That means one who is keeping always in Krishna consciousness, abides in me with great faith, worshipping me in transcendental loving service, is most intimately united with me in yoga, and is the highest of all. This is the prime instruction of this chapter, Sankhya Yoga, that if you want to become perfect yogi on the highest platform, then keep yourself in Krishna consciousness and you become the first-class yogi. Go on.
Purport. The Sanskrit word bhajate is significant here.
This word bhajate appears in the original Sanskrit verse, yoginam api sarvesam madgata antaratmana bhajate jumang sadhyaman samejukta tamo mataha. This bhajate, this word, Sanskrit word, it comes from the root bhaj dhatu. It is a bhar, bhaj dhatu. Bhaj means to render service. Bhaj. So this very word is used in this verse, bhajdhat. That means one who is devotee, who renders service to Krishna, unless he is devotee. Suppose you are rendering service here. Why? You can render service anywhere. You get $1,000 or $2,000 every month. But here you come and give your service without any payment. Why? Because out of love of Krishna. Therefore this bhaja, this service, loving service, is based on love of God. Otherwise, why one should waste his time for nothing? Here the students, they are engaged in so many things. Somebody is gardening, somebody is typing, somebody is cooking, somebody is doing something else, everything. But it is in connection with Krishna. Therefore the Krishna consciousness is prevailing always 24 hours. That is the highest type of yoga. Yoga means to keep your consciousness intact with Vishnu or Krishna, the Supreme Lord. That is the perfection of yoga. So here it is automatically. Even the child can do it. The child is coming along with his mother and bowing down. Krishna, I bow down. So he is also Krishna conscious. A small child, he is clapping. Why? He is Krishna. So anyway, everyone is remembering all as Krishna, keeping Krishna consciousness. So even a child here is the highest yogi. It is not our boastfulness. It is stated in authorized scripture like Bhagavad Gita. We don't say that we have created these words for our boastful. No. It is a fact. Even a child can keep in the highest platform of yoga practice in this temple. That is the highest gift of this Krishna consciousness movement. Go on.
Well, that was a very important point that Prabhupada mentioned that I should also reiterate here. So you can see that Prabhupada mentioned even a child can perform this Bhakti Yoga. So how many children are capable or can go to secluded place and perform the Ashtanga Yoga? So are we depriving children from attaining absorption in Lord? Not everybody can do like what Dhruva Maharaj did, right? So our own children can do this, and that is the speciality of Bhakti Yoga because it doesn't discriminate between age or gender or race or anything. Okay, so that's one important point here. Okay, so we have actually finished 22 weeks. Can you believe you all have done 22 weeks? Okay, and we have few more, 23, 24, 25, 26. Okay, no more materials produced after these 4 weeks. So I plan to have, I plan to finish this 4 more classes in July. Okay, August is expected to be a little busy for us because there'll be a lot of festivals. My Guru Maharaj is coming back. So I need to be like standby for programs or cookings or anything. All right, so what I would like to propose is that right now we are doing 2 weeks once, right, this class. So probably in coming 4 weeks, we would like to do it 4 weeks, not consecutively. So will that be okay for you all? Then you all can have some break in August, and let's see whether I can combine you guys and my earlier batch ones, level 3. They also finish week 26. Okay, so I plan to combine you both. And for on Fridays, they are actually from Sunday class, but I want to ask them to join the Friday class, and we will do other topics so we can continue our association. Okay, but your level 3, you will get some certificate like this. You will get certificate like this, sadhana certificate, but provided you do these things, right? You read some of Prabhupada books, you regularly attend this Bhagavad Gita class. You chant 8 to 16 rounds, anywhere between 18 to 16 rounds. You are vegetarian, not taking alcohols or smoking, no gambling, no illicit sexual activities, and observe Ekadasis on festival days. So if you are doing all of this, then you can get this certificate. Otherwise, if you are not able to observe all of this, please let me know. Then see whether there is any other kind of certificate, because here it mentioned that sadhana certificate. So it is internationally recognized that this term sadhana certificate means you have to comply all of this. Okay, so I will be getting in touch with you to check on this. Okay, so all this you will get after we finish this week 26. Okay, so that's it. Is it okay for everyone for me to have every week's class until we finish this modules, 4 more modules? Should be okay, right? So you'll keep the momentum every week. Yeah, just 4 more weeks. We'll try to finish it. Unless anything comes up, then I have to skip. So I hope to see you all the next 4 weeks consecutively. So you all have that memory fresh, okay? Our previous chapters. Okay, thank you everyone. Any questions?
Mataji, I want that certificate, but I think the last 3 I'm out.
Last 3 out.
The certificate looks so amazing.
Last 3, yeah. Which one, Mataji?
Or is it the last 2? The vegetarian? Still not that path yet.
Okay. Never mind. We will continue with our, after the week 26, we will continue our satsang, Mataji. So see if you can do some changes. Yeah, I'm sure you can.
Yep.
Okay, any more questions? Anyone doing Ekadasi today? Roja Mataji, how is it going so far?
Today half day only, Mataji.
Yes, okay. I am
Hospital.
Yamuna Mataji, are you trying?
Yeah, I follow Mataji.
Great.
I do observe.
Fasting today.
Yeah, it's Ekadasi fasting, Mataji. Yes. But to keep it simple, right? I would like to call it fruitarian day. You just take fruits or milk and nuts. That means no cooking, no cooked food. That is if you do not have any stomach issues, like gastrics or gas, kind of things. If you're able to, just keep taking fruits or nuts and milk. Like today, my daughter made, she put milk, banana, mango, grapes, all blend, one smoothie. So very easy like that. If you love cooking and you need to cook for family, if you have gastric, then we can do a lot of varieties. Like you can do fruit roja. Basically the kuah roja is actually ekadasi. You're just going to use kacang or maybe a little bit of chili, brown sugar. It's kuah roja already, and then you can put in any of your vegetable like sengkuang, cucumber, anything, or you can take a fruit salad. So basically, you're just giving a rest to your body. So you can do that.
Yeah, fruit is the safest, Mataji, because all the others, you don't know, it's grain based, this has got that grain and that grain, oh my God.
Agree. Yes. If you can, you can. Yes. Yeah, so can try. Some of you can try. Just
I tried only fruits. Every Ekadasi, I only take fruits.
Oh, great, Mataji. Sometimes we have that potato, all right, we boil, make it a ball, like that also can. Yeah. What else? Yeah, these are the simple things, lah, Mataji. But I used to make like the actual rice and curry. Like I can make the moraya rice. I can make sodi or like kira soup. Or you can make normal vegetable stir fry. It's still ekadasi, but then gradually my children don't like already. They like, I rather don't eat at all than eating this ekadasi food. Okay, then it's good. It's like that. Or you can just make fruit salad with yogurt. like that. So basically, we don't cook so much nowadays. Last time we used to do buckwheat noodles, buckwheat tosses, so many things. You can actually cook like normal. If you notice you're cooking, you don't have grains actually in your stir-fried vegetable. You can actually make that. Today we bought something from one Mataji. She made payasam. That's also sago. Some orange sweet potato. Then you just boil. You make it like a kanji. You can eat that. So you can just explore Matajis. Okay, so anything you can ask me. That's all. Hare Krishna. Good night, everyone.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.